It was the lunch rush in downtown Austin. The sidewalk sizzled under the summer heat as a line stretched 20 deep outside a popular food truck known for its spicy brisket tacos. Inside, the space was tight, the grill was hot, the fryer was bubbling. One worker was prepping ingredients while another manned the order window. The propane tank sat outside in the back, standard for setups like this. But that day, the tank's valve had developed a leak. It wasn't visible, it wasn't loud, but it was there. A single spark, maybe from static, maybe from a frayed power cable brushing against the metal wall, was all it took. The explosion sent a fireball into the sky. The worker inside suffered second-degree burns. A customer nearby was thrown to the ground. Emergency crews responded within minutes, but the damage was done. The incident made headlines. Not because of negligence, but because no one saw it coming. That's the challenge with food trucks. They're compact, mobile, full of flavor, and full of hazards. Safety in this world isn't about fancy systems or layers of oversight. It's about sharp observation, shared responsibility, and proactive prevention. Because when your restaurant is on wheels, everything, from fire suppression to foot traffic, becomes part of the risk equation. Let's talk about proximity. Unlike brick-and-mortar restaurants, food trucks blur the line between the kitchen and the customer. In New York City, a customer once leaned in to peek at the grill, just as a cook turned with a tray of boiling oil. The splash caught the customer's arm. Minor burns, thankfully. But the setup was never meant to have public access that close to active cooking zones. Observation isn't just about the equipment, it's about the human flow around it. And then there's ventilation. In 2018, a food truck in Edmonton suffered a near miss when carbon monoxide began building up inside the unit. The cause? A portable generator running too close to the rear vent. The operator had moved it to avoid the rain, but didn't realize it was feeding exhaust back into the prep space. One of the staff began to feel dizzy. She thought it was heat stroke. Her coworker recognized the signs and opened all the windows. They called EMS, and tests later showed dangerous levels of CO inside. That simple act of noticing the symptoms and knowing they didn't match the temperature saved lives. Electrical safety is another blind spot. Temporary wiring, extension cords underfoot. In Los Angeles, a popular taco truck suffered a fire when a fridge unit overloaded a shared circuit. The breaker failed. The staff had noticed flickering lights earlier in the day but dismissed it. Observations don't always scream. Sometimes they flicker. In food truck clusters, especially at festivals or night markets, spacing becomes a concern. In Atlanta, 2 trucks were parked nose to tail at a crowded event. When one caught fire due to a fryer malfunction, the flames jumped to the next unit. Both were destroyed. Vendors nearby said they'd raised spacing concerns before, but no formal inspection was done. This is where observation needs to be paired with advocacy. If something looks risky, speak it, document it, push for change. And while we're here, let's talk about the people behind the counter. Fatigue is a major factor. Many food truck operators start prep at 5 a.m., serve until late at night, and then clean, resupply, and drive home. It's not uncommon for owners to work 14, 16-hour days, 7 days a week. In Miami, a worker fell asleep behind the wheel after a 17-hour shift and crashed while towing his unit home. The truck was totaled. He was lucky to walk away. Sometimes it's not the dramatic hazards, it's the slow ones. In Vancouver, a food truck operator developed a repetitive strain injury in her shoulder from years of prepping in a tight corner, using poor posture and forceful motion. It started as soreness, turned into inflammation, eventually required surgery. The space didn't change, but her awareness of how she moved within it came too late. Now imagine if observation was built into the routine, not just pre-trip inspections or fire extinguisher checks, but real human-level scanning. How hot does it feel in here? Is anyone looking pale? Why is the fridge running louder than yesterday? What's dripping behind the fryer? Some food truck networks are catching on. In Portland, a local association began offering short safety workshops, peer inspections, and shared checklists. Operators walk each other through hazard identification in real setups, not theoretical spaces. The goal? Build a culture of shared vigilance, not competition but collaboration. Observation in the food truck world isn't about checking boxes, it's about protecting dreams. Most food trucks are labors of love. Family businesses, first ventures, immigrant-owned, passion-fueled. One overlooked wire, one slippery mat, one loose propane connector. And that dream goes up in smoke. So what should we watch for? Look for the generator that's too close to the vent, the hand-washing sink with no soap, the cutting board used for both meat and veggies, the grease trap that hasn't been emptied, the window that swings open too fast near children. The tired eyes of the worker who hasn't taken a break. Every detail matters. Because in this business, safety isn't just a regulation, it's survival. In our next episode, we'll turn our attention to forklift safety, a cornerstone of countless workplaces and one of the most misunderstood risks in industrial settings. From blind spots and unstable loads to pedestrian proximity and complacency, we'll unpack the hazards hiding behind the hum of moving machinery and explore the power of real-time observation to prevent tragic outcomes. Until then, stay aware, stay mobile, and stay safe. This is Safety Smart HQ. What safety observations have you made in your workplace? Drop them in the comments. Your insight might inspire future videos or even help someone avoid a serious incident. Thanks for being part of our growing community of safety-minded professionals. Together, we're making workplaces safer, one observation at a time.